Yes guys, welcome back to another video. And in this video I want to share with you some important information. If you want to buy a car, some stuff that I personally would suggest, or this is just my own experience, okay? First of all, how not to lose a lot of money on buying, a car, or when it comes to sell. How to avoid losing a lot of money when buying or getting out from a car, because that's something that happens all the time. People end up losing so much money by buying a car and then selling it on, losing thousands of pounds in depreciation and costs and all of that. So in this video I want to share with you this kind of info, how to avoid that, because that's one of the worst things, obviously. Now, before you buy or decide or think about buying a car, you should really decide if it's something you want to do right now, especially the type of car, if it's an expensive car or going into a finance. Because let me give you a small example. The finances that I have with both of my cars, I've got right now, which we're driving now, the C63 AMG, and then I've got the CLA 45 AMG. If you didn't know, that alone can probably pay off a mortgage in London, a flat in London, just those two cars. So I could probably be paying off a flat, a property in London, and earning money from it. And that's before running costs. So obviously that's just finance. You got running costs, insurance, road tax, MOT, servicing, tires, brakes, fuel, which we're actually heading now, because this car definitely does drink a lot of fuel, this V8. Although it's not me here complaining, because I choose to buy this, or I chose to buy this, to put it that way. And bit of a tight spot. Why do people always have to park so far from the pump and make things so difficult? Alright guys, I'm just gonna fuel up and we'll continue this video. Done with that. So fuel price has definitely gone up a little bit compared to the summertime, but yeah. So guys, as we was talking about before in this video, yeah, basically buying cars is an expense, and usually you lose money. Obviously cars go down in value, right? Most of it anyways. So my point is that first of all, you should consider all of that, because if you spend all your income on a car, you might, you might be passionate about cars, and just like I am, I love cars. But where do you want to go in life? Well, that's what I'm trying to say. So that's number one you should consider. But let's say out of all, you thought about everything, or you can afford it, or whatever it is. Here are some tips that you should do in order to avoid losing as much money as possible. Because as I said at the beginning of this video, so many people lose money buying cars, and so much that they shouldn't be losing. It's just horrible to see all the time. I hear friends of mine losing thousands and thousands, and I'm enjoying cars like a C63, and it costs me much less than them, and they have like a simple Audi, or one of those regular cars, like a diesel. It just doesn't add up to me, and that just comes down to using your mind, anyway, so here's why I'm doing this video. Number one is study the market. When you're looking for a particular car, let's say you want a C63 like I'm driving now, study the market for a good few weeks. Don't just, if you don't care about money, then don't bother watching this video. But if you're someone who cares about money, I don't care whether you're tight or not. Even if I would be worth millions, I would still do this, I promise you guys, because I hate wasting money. That's a rule that I hate. If I know I can get the same thing for less, even though I don't care, I have so much money, I would still not overpay, because I know it's not worth paying that amount of money. Simple as that. But going back to the point, study the market, so that like this, what's a deal, what's not a deal, what's the average price, what's a good spec. Don't just jump into something because you're all excited and want to have this car. Study the market. Know when you find a deal, if it's really a deal. Not that the dealer is going to tell you that's a great price. Every dealer is going to tell you that, guys. And of course, once you see the car, you get excited, and you just want to buy it. Please guys, study the market a good few weeks, if not more. you know, learn about mileage, about age, year differences, how the prices go up and down. Like this, you can work out roughly depreciation over time as well. So like this, you know, a car that's 2 years old, this and this miles, is worth this much less. So like this, you can work out roughly how much the car will go down in value. Of course, it's never going to be 100%, but it'll give you an idea. That's number one. Number one is study the market. Just like you're buying a property, study the market. Don't just jump in and buy a house, right? Same thing with a car. Be smart. That's my number one tip. Number two, you're doing a finance like most of us do. You know, some people say, hey, if you can't put down the cash, you can't afford the car. I don't agree to that, because I can put down money now for this car and not have a finance. But why would I want to lock up 30 grand on this car and it'll just be worth less in value? Yes, finances do charge interest, which we'll get to a point in a minute, but my 30 grand can be making money while this will be losing money, right? So that's my point. But finance, you want to make sure you get a good finance. Now, people are going to tell you this is a good finance. Everyone is different. Every individual is different. It depends on so many different things. It depends over how long you do anyways, it depends on many different things. But the key is you want to make sure that you're not paying overall a big amount of interest over the whole rate. And read through all the papers, read through all the terms and conditions, because there's so many little words that people don't read through and end up losing a lot of money when, let's say, ending a finance early, or paying a lot of interest even though they finished their agreement earlier. So yeah, just read through all those things. Make sure that you understand the deal you're getting and it's a good one for your circumstance. Now, another thing is that you should check is the car you're buying. Do some research about it, understand around the maintenance cost of it and all of that stuff, because some cars, like, all right, here's something I haven't said, but I was almost going to buy a Nissan GT-R about 3-4 months ago, because I saw it for a very good price, and I was like, I can get that car and enjoy it for 3 months and probably sell it for the same price. And it probably was true. However, maintenance costs on Nissan GT-Rs are fairly high. If you do your research, you'll see. I mean, GT-Rs are not the cheapest cars to maintain. They do require a lot of maintenance, every like 6 months, or it depends on the years, but it's a car that's expensive to maintain. And the point is that you should really understand that before you buy the car, so you don't end up buying a car and then like, how am I going to pay all that, or unexpected costs. I mean, every car can have unexpected costs, but maintenance is good to know roughly. That took a bit of a while, but as I said, maintenance is something good to know roughly before you buy a car, so it gives you a rough idea. That's another important tip to really consider before buying a car. And of course, one of the most important factors in buying a car and not losing a lot of money, that's number one deal. That's the number one law. Only buy a deal. I mean, buy a car that's on a deal. Like, you know, as I said, if you would study the market. So let's talk about this car, because you guys know that I bought this car for a good price, because I haven't kept that secret. And I could possibly sell this car now and break even, and might even come out with a profit. So I had this car over half a year now, and I've done quite a few miles in it. I've done road trips. I enjoyed it, and I'm still enjoying it. And I can probably sell this today, and for sure break even, but I believe I can even come out with a nice small profit by now. So the point is, I bought this car because I knew the price is a good price, and that's very important. Of course, when you buy a brand new car, even though you'll get if you get a discount off the, you know, RRP price, guys, you're still gonna lose a lot of money. So that's why I never buy brand new cars. I mean, people who buy brand new cars normally end up losing a lot of money, and that's up to you guys. But I don't buy brand new cars. Brand new cars is probably the worst thing you can do if you want to not lose money on a car. So that's just my opinion, guys. You know, I know people that bought brand new cars and got a discount of 8 grand, 10 grand, no matter what they say, what they claim, you know, with all the original regular retail price, with the spec, they got 8 grand discount or 10 grand discount. 2 years later, they're going to sell the car. They lost a hefty amount of money. If they would buy that same car with 5,000 miles on the clock and a half-year-old or 1 year old, they would not lose half of that money. So I don't buy that. You know, even with the discounts, you're still gonna lose most likely a lot of money. So do your checks. But my point is, I don't buy brand new cars. I'm not the kind of person to throw money in the bin. Yeah, I know some people say there's no better feeling than being the first person driving the car. I agree to that to some point. Guys, by the way, we're talking about the regular cars. Yes, there are certain cars that you can buy brand new and sell them for like certain rare cars or cars that are highly demanded, like a Porsche 911 Turbo, and people buy them and flip them like 3 months later and come out with a profit. Yes, there are occasions like that, but I'm talking about the average car. Guys, that's not going to happen. So these are just my tips, my points. If you want to buy a car, be smart, do your homework, don't jump into it, don't rush into it, don't get excited unless you don't care about money. But I guess you wouldn't be watching this video, right? So yes guys, this is my thoughts. Please like this video if you enjoyed it, and if you like those kind of content, let me know in the comments below, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed yet. And guys, I will see you on my next video. Bye now.